Is it Moo again? Yeah, Moo is up first yet again versus Rick. A bit of a rematch. Rick needs this rematch. Reflect up, but a blind out from Moo. Winks is going to go following up with a Hodge, most likely. Still playing adaptation, so Rick is going to get the AoE fear. It's going to get a trick out of him. Stun locker to Rick. Maybe looking for a gateway potentially. Does get himself a dark pack here. Is going to go for a big gate for Moo. He's going to try to see if he can rush out. Already got hit with one Axos. So the next one is not going to hold him back at all. Plus, Blessing a Saint, barely going to be able to sit any kind of CC here for a second. Rick does get around the pillar into a port to see if he can reposition. Still, lots of demons charging at Moo. He still has everything available. Lay on hands, bubble, spell warden / blessing of protection, whatever he needs. Still has it all. He's probably going to have to rotate a lay on hands here first though. But right while he's got wings available, I think he wants to go for that Dawn Light damage onto Rick. I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't think he's going to be able to. Not easily. AoE fuel for a second, no adaptation for a moment. And Rick, does he have a lockdown? Yet another fear. Going to be able to lock down Moo for a second with those fears while setting up all those pets. Axtos, that's going to be big. Oh! Yo, that Demonology burst comes out of left field, dude. That's the eyeball build. That is the eyeball. He got a couple of hand Guldans. There's nothing that Mookow could have done there because those eyes, when they... So every time you hand Guldan, once you get an interior set, before you summon up a new demon from the Diabolus, you have these eyeballs next to you. And when you summon up a big demon, right? Overlord, Chaos Mother, or... It's a weak. Bring out a bubble back. Dude, bring out a bubble back. Or when you summon Pit Lord, those eyeballs fly in and they do a lot of damage in PvP. So I think he might have had a couple of those eyeballs, 2 maybe. 1 or 2, maybe potentially 3. But he's got enough hand to go down, so once he does summon the new pet, it bursted him out of left field. He went from kind of okay to dead. Literally, unless you just know that there's an eyeball burst and you bubble it, yeah. He was like a 15 to 20% health. And he just got absolutely clobbered. Fear out for Rick. If he can pick up a couple more of these eyeballs and then set out big demons onto Saya, he'll be golden, man. He just needs to pick up a little bit more of those eyeballs. He needs hand to Guldans, though. Unfortunately, you do need a lot of hand to Guldans to make that burst happen. Overlord is going to be helpful. Reflect up for Rick. It is going to be a full immunity to magic damage, but it's going to be Rick still trying to see if he can get him more. How'd you get Chaos Mother and an Overlord together? What the hell was that? How'd you get the both? Stun onto Rick, but it's still a lot of damage Sai is taken from that Doom Guard, though. That Doom Guard is absolutely just pummeling him. And there goes the bubble. Rick, maybe he can go for a gateway, maybe a port. He got himself defenseless. Hold on a second. Maybe Rick got himself locked in. He's in an anti-paladin arc. He's got himself full fear and a tyrant full burst available to stun onto Saya, who doesn't have a bubble anymore. Shield of is barely going to help. The Pit Lord is absolutely tearing you apart. Demon bolts flying from every direction. He's got himself a bit of healing. Rick has himself a trinket to get out of stun immediately. Saya is not in a great spot. Blight on those pets is going to be Charhound for Rick. I don't know if you mentioned we rode Charhounds, but maybe. He definitely needs to get more eyeballs to get himself a big proc onto Saya. He's got himself another word too, so if he could reflect a Hodge, that would be huge. That Doom Guard. Saya, you better not walk out. Yeah, the Doom Guard is going to tear you apart, man. Get the Doom Guard attacking. That Doom Guard needs to start attacking immediately. Otherwise, it's not going to get any value. You need to get that thing attacking. And to go down with an Overlord. Axe toss. It might be light. Lay on hands is going to keep Saya alive for a second longer here. Rick still got himself a Doom Guard for a second. Reflect up because there's a Hodge. Saya trying to see if he can delay it a little bit. Port out for Rick. Got himself a bit of damage. Rick got himself Dark Pact together with an AoE Fear and a Tyrant available in case he needs to. Dark Pact a little bit early. Most likely go for a Tyrant right now. Is going to go for a big port. Doom Guard yet again. Maybe a Tyrant. Or no Tyrant? Saya better be very careful, man. That Doom Guard is going to be end of him. That Doom Guard, if he gets too many Shadow Bolts, that thing is going to hurt. Even through Shield of Vengeance, look at that thing tearing apart the Shield of Vengeance. Every single one of those Shadow Bolts hurts a lot. And that thing is still out in the open. AoE Fury into Saya for just a second. That's going to show Blessing of Saint, but it looks like it didn't connect fast enough. So Rick is going to hit with Hodge. Is going to get adapted port. Wake of Ashes. He's nowhere near you. If you can get more pets, Tyrant, full demons, that's going to be huge, actually. Could be absolutely massive. Question is, though, do you have enough damage? Do you have enough? Does get himself a quick fear. As is going to be more pets charging out over that Saya. AoE fuel for just a second. As he's got himself even more fears. Chaos Mother joins in. Shadow Fury. Infernal from a distance. Dreadstalker's charging in. Got himself a Doom. What is it? Demon bolts. I am losing my mind here. with a Tyrant. Hold on. Now, at this point, Saya must have something coming back up, right? Maybe Lay on Hands. No Spell Warden, no Bubble. Maybe Lay on Hands is back up at this point. The Tyrant is kind of being dummy. He's not attacking him at all. Is going to go for a bit of damage. He does have one more eyeball. Doomguard joins in. That's still a lot of pets chasing after Saya. Shield of It is keeping him nice and healthy. For at least a little longer. He's waiting until Adaptation is back up. Reflect for a second. Adaptation is back in play. Is going to be Axtos for a second. Fear. Do you have another pet to summon? Do you have another big demon to summon? It's going to be Charhound. Fear onto Saya. Dress Suckers are in. Do you have a big summon though? You need a big summon. Hand of Gul'dan. Chaos Mother. Big burst. That's going to be a lot of damage. Saya with a stun into a Hand of Gul'dan's. Oh, that's two Paladins back to back, baby. Two Palas back to back, baby. Taken out. That is so rough, man. That is so rough. Holy moly, chat. That's crazy. That is crazy. It's going to be insane. Trying to see if he can get himself some pressure, some kind of damage. Got himself cheap shot. Going to be a quick fear as Rick tried to see if he can get himself cast in here as best as possible. Done himself a bit of the Dark Pact. And insane looking to grapple over. Pallies were a tough one, but the question is, can he fight a rogue? I think normally Demonology does do really well against rogues. Like really, really well against rogues. But the question is he going to be able to keep the pressure rolling here this way? Shadow, that's going to be Doomguard. He just got to live now. Let the Doomguard tear apart the rogue. That's pretty massive. He got himself one of the eyeball. If you can get himself a second one too, that'd be great. A-Way Fear, Pit Lord is in. Quite a bit of damage. Let's try to see if he can keep those fears back to back on the guy. Big Ruination. Hand of Gul'dan. Cleaving down until Leo accidentally. Leo backing up out of there. Insane. Trying to see if he can escape. Vanish does come out. Eyes are they available on this side? They're not, but I think the rogue is still... No, he's not in combat. He's not dotted. Yeah, potentially going to be eyes for Rick. What? You can't glide up here? I thought glide would give you just enough height. No, apparently you can't. Yeah, we're learning this for ourselves. Maybe you could find yourself like, you know, clip yourself on a little edge of that outer platform and then like jump over the chain. But yeah, it doesn't look like you just jump up there unless you're Demon Hunter. Or if you have like grapple hook maybe as a rogue. Because you could at least grapple to one of the posts, one of the pillars. Maybe. That's about all you can do, honestly. Or stepped. Somebody's already there. Rick trying to see if he can get himself a bit of that auto position. Fear onto Insane for a second. Is it going to be enough though? Fear to follow. The rogue is kind of low on health. Ed's going to be Chaos Mother, but a vanish. Let's him escape. The eyeballs do get sent in, but he does get himself a vanish with an escape. Rick with a stun from a distance, just trying to see if he could randomly toss it out. But I don't think he finds Insane anywhere though, unfortunately. This is going to be, I guess Insane is going to wait it out completely. Just going to reset it. Actually, yeah, I mean, I guess at this point, like, if you're just going to run at Rick, you're just going to die. Right? That's what you can really do. I love to see Paladins bite the dust is glorious. Yeah, man. Rick, if anybody is going to be able to take down Palas, I think Rick is going to be the boy. As Rick, I think, is trying to see if he can go for a huge play here. Just try to see if he can have himself a proper game. Finally, not go on dead last for a duel. This is going to be his chance to possibly shine here. He just got to fight a rogue. This is going to be his better matchup. Question is, does he go up against Leo or Curdy? Because so far, Leo has been able to get some pressure on him before. If it's Curdy, maybe it'll be a little bit easier, but Shadowproof should never be discounted. Cloak Shot is for Insane. Big gateway out for Rick. He just tried to stay away from Insane as best as possible. All those pets are in. I don't know if he could go for like an axe toss or anything like that to like lock him down, but I think the pets are just going to be more than enough. He doesn't even need to do much. He's just to live long enough, let the Dreadstalkers, let all the other pets do enough damage. Curdy with a full PI silences himself with that Netherward Reflect, which is huge for Rick. It's going to be a big rift out on him. And as long as you control as much damage from Curdy, you can always port the rift, but also you can try to make sure that rift does not grow in size. For Curdy, once he gets the rift, he needs to get those Mind Blasts in, if possible. He needs to get those DPs in order to pump up the rift. Mind Blast will also pump up the rift with a T reset. So it's definitely worth for him to do so. Shadow Crusher on the corner is going to be able to connect damage freebie onto Rick with that tentacle, continue to channel at him from a distance. And Curdy looking for him. a bit of the reset. Axe toss into Curdy, does go for a disperse with Rick, got himself Tyrant, full pressure, everything available. Fear right after. Curdy looking for a bit of that full damage with the torrent, does get axe toss on it though. I don't know if you can go for any instant cast. Reflect up for Rick for a second. You can still load him up with some DPs. AoE Fear on all those pets, picking up a little bit of healing. Rick kind of lowish. Curdy definitely a lot lower. Curdy does have a silence. No stuns, unfortunately. No Fear for a while. It actually might just be dead. Might actually just be dead unless you can stand still and cast heals. It looks like the Felguard did fall off. Apparently. Yeah. Overlord randomly jumping around the pillar. I thought Curdy was going to be okay, but looks like he's not okay. And a Doom proccing? Did he spawn a Doom guard with it? No, he didn't. Halo is literally using everything he can just to give himself a heal. Even Halo, even Holy Nova, any kind of heal you can give yourself, anything is going to be helpful at this point, right? Even just putting VE on all these pets is going to give you some healing back from those guys. Even a little. DPs just to see if you can dumpster a bunch of damage onto the pet and heal with it as best as possible. Got himself full Void Torrent. At this point, honestly, may not be the one to just take on that pet. It is going to be Rick trying to see if he can position himself over here, resummoning the pet. He's going to be funneling it over with a bit of health. Curdy still has himself that rift, still has himself that potential damage, has himself the pets. AoE Fear on some of those demons. He needs to get himself an angle to get himself a proper go versus Rick. He's got PI. He's still trying to see if he can stick it out here as best as possible. Disperse, still technically available. Trinket to follow him. Stun onto Rick. He doesn't have a way to break out of the stun, unfortunately. Silencing himself with the Nether Ward, unfortunately, but it is going to be dispersed out for Curdy to get himself a full reset here, boys. To try to keep himself alive as best as he can. Shadow Crash down onto Rick with a Tyrant to follow. Rick got himself at least a little bit of damage. And Curdy with a Fear, AoE. Dark Ascension up next is going to be more pets jumping in. Axe tossed. I don't really know what else he could really do. It's just lights. Leo's last one left. And Rick got every defensive backup. This is going to be a tough matchup for Rick, however, because a couple of times so far tonight, Leo and Rick have been going back and forth here. Is going to get Chain of Ice. I don't know if he got port. Wall may not be enough. AoE Fear is available. Does have a port last second. Does have a Warlock Hellstone as well. Does have another ward as well. Maybe another word. Another word silence on Leo. That is huge. I don't know if you can just stay away, but this Riders are just going to keep charging at him. Lichborn right after. I think it's lights. I don't think there's anything he can do. Yeah. I think he did the best he could. That was a hell of a match, though, for Rick, however. That was amazing. He did do really, really well. It's going to be a Zinzi. Try to see if you can just get some last-ditch damage onto Leo, who just had to send a lot versus Rick, though. He's still a death pack, but like a 69% dampening. Nice. It's not going to be effective. Maybe AMS, maybe AMZ for some of the shadow damage, but like a single big rift and like a big pump up in damage. And I think Leo might just be done for the count, man. Is the stun going to be a stun around the corner? Trinket right after. Got himself a Shadow Crash. That's a connected. But unless you can get some like actual proper damage into Leo, which is, it's a problem with Shadow Priest. Like not a lot of mobility. Fear onto Leo. Void Torrent, that's going to be huge. Dome barely doing anything. You're still taking a lot of damage from it. If you could get around the corner and get a couple DPs. Hell, even if you just do DPs on our Riders, I think it still does a lot of damage. Does get a DP into Leo. I was looking for a couple of Death Strikes, man. That might not be enough. Big burst out for Zinzi, though. I think for Leo it might be lights. He does have Death Pact. I don't know if he wants to use it though. He's just still taking constant damage. The Chain of Ice on the Zinzi are rough, but as long as he can get himself like a DP, couple of DPs onto Leo. Hell, even if he just gets the next rift, I think it's lights for Leo. He's got himself Death Pact, barely any health to work with. And he's just trying to see if he can stay mounted as best as he can. Zinzi just chilling on this side. Flashy heal available. But Leo, not a lot of health left, man. He can't go for a silence, technically. He has some offensive power, so maybe he can just throw everything at Zinzi. Stun. Silence. You need to silence some Zinzi. Fear is huge. You do just... Ooh, Void Torrent. I think it's over. Yeah, Leo's trying to see if he can catch up to you and see if he can burst you down, but I think it's over. I think it's lights. I think it's over. Yeah, it's over. Well done, Zinzi. Even somehow got a DP through around the pillar. I don't know how you did that. But Rick picking up 4. Well done, Rick. And well done, Zinzi. Well played, boys. Nice. Well done, everybody.